All right, people, listen up. Sellers, this is for you. If your home isn't selling, it might not be overpriced. It might be competing with brand new construction selling for less than yours. Is your competition new construction? Is it?
Maybe.
For a lot of people, it is. Sellers are getting caught up in the new build trap, what we like to call. It's a reality most people are not aware of, and we're seeing a trend of builders undercutting resale and selling for much, much less.
Yeah. So builders, they don't price homes based on yesterday's sales.
Nope.
They price homes based on future absorption, how fast they want homes to sell. So, Danielle, why can they do this?
Tell us, Heather.
They control supply. Their houses are sold in phases. They control release times. They control the incentives. They control appraisals. Kind of. So let's stop for a second.
Right.
We're going to first address sellers. All of you sellers who have new build as a competition, maybe you're selling in a community that is still building.
Mm-hmm.
This first part is just for you.
Right.
All those things we listed are going to be your competition, but the appraisal thing is an interesting thing. What you probably noticed in the contract when you purchased your home was if you use the builder's lender, the home always appraises.
Always. Isn't that funny?
Because their lender knows the quality of their homes and what things cost.
Mm-hmm.
But in that tiny contract, if you bring in your own lender and it does not appraise, you have to pay the difference. So that home is getting marked at that value no matter what.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's happening no matter what. So just to let you know, sellers, this is something you signed there. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, your typical homeowner is going to price their house based on past sales of other homes in the area, right?
Mhm.
That makes sense. That's usually how it's done. But most homeowners are very emotional about the list price, and they should be. They take
Correct.
a lot of pride in their house. But when it comes down to it, you're not just competing with hardcore numbers or comps in your area. You're also competing with everything the builder can offer. Now, again, this is in a development where they're still building. So this doesn't really apply to everybody, but if you're in a development, they're still building, this is for you. You're competing with everything the builder can do, and they can pretty much do anything.
Yes, exactly. So if you've tried it all, which is everything we typically do for our sellers,
Right.
what we do is professional pictures, floor plans, 2D walkthroughs, 3D walkthroughs, drone, video, lifestyle video, amenity pictures, social media campaigns, email campaigns, open houses, marketing plans and schedules. If you've done all of these things and your house still has it sold and the builder is selling theirs, it comes down to two things. Only two things. This is it. Has nothing to do with the wording.
Right.
Has nothing to do with the pictures usually. These two things.
It's pretty simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it.
Right.
Number one, can you compete with the builder? Can you compete with their rate buy downs? The closing costs that they offer to buyers, lower prices that they can raise or lower
Right.
at will. Even appliance packages. We're starting to see those come
Lots
back.
of those back.
Or number two, can you just wait it out? Do you have the time to sit and wait and keep your listing on the market for that right buyer?
Mm-hmm.
Good news is we have a solution.
Yep.
Okay. Or
we're going to switch
we have
gears.
information for you.
That's right.
Now,
getting in our time machine and we're bringing you back to when you bought the house.
So how can you avoid even being in this position altogether if you're purchasing in a community that's still building? You ask. The first
Good question.
Yeah. The first question you're going to ask yourself is, how long are you going to live in the home that you're purchasing? Could have good intentions of being there for at least 5 years, but it's definitely something to think about if you're buying a home in a new construction community.
It is. For example, do not buy in the early phases unless you plan to stay in the home long term.
Say that again.
Do not buy in the early phases unless you plan to stay long term. If you plan to sell in 5 years and the builder's going to build for 10 years, You're basically signing yourself up competition the moment you buy the house. Early phases can be great, and we see why people flock to them. They are priced strategically low, and it's not because the homes are worth less, but it's because the builders are trying to build momentum. It's a new community, new phase.
Right. They need sales on the books. They need to push the homes quickly in the very beginning. And they need appraisers to have data. So they have to have sales. So buyers in early phases often get excited thinking they got a great deal. And guess what? You did.
You did.
It's an amazing time to buy a new construction home. Phase 1, you're going to get the lowest price there is. And although history has supported that statement and you're getting a great deal, the deal isn't locked in until the community is closer to completion. And that only matters to you if you're going to sell. And remember, not all lots are released in the first phase.
So what if you want to move in the next few years? You're like, no, I know I'm going to be leaving. I know my job moves me around.
Right.
Then you need to buy late stage in the community build process. By the final phases, builders have already raised their prices though. So prices do go up with each phase. They have reduced the incentives because there's a buzz going about the community, but they've also established true market value. And more importantly, they've almost run out of inventory.
So there's no competition for you.
Yes, very exciting.
Which means when you sell, buyers don't have a brand new alternative right down the street from you. Late stage buyers typically experience better resale stability because you're not competing with builders, less incentive competition, and more predictable pricing.
As a seller, inventory homes are also your real enemy. They're big. So let's just take a moment here.
They can be.
They are. Let's talk about that nuance because this is where you as a seller can get blindsided.
Inventory homes are builder-owned, move-in ready homes. People don't have to wait for the build, but they get a brand new construction home. And builders will do whatever it takes to move them.
They have them. They're sitting there paying on them.
Yeah. They do price cuts, rate buy downs. They even pay closing costs. And a huge one now that we're starting to see is design incentive money. So you can upgrade your house and get a great value for it.
The problem is this makes your retail home or your resale home look overpriced, even when technically it isn't.
Right.
Going back into your time machine, before you buy, think about this. How many inventories will still be for sale when I plan to sell? And we know that's a difficult question. But just know that inventory homes could be a real issue when you go to sell if the neighborhood is still building.
Right. And keep in mind, lot selection is also where value could be created in your home. Okay? If a builder can easily replicate your lot, your value is vulnerable if they
I agree with you. So what's the safest way? You're going to choose one of these lots. Okay. These lots have great resale value. Water view lots, preserve views, oversized lots, cul-de-sac lots. And here's one that goes either way. Amenity adjacent lots. 2 reasons. So you may love it, you may hate it. Me, I'm not a fan of that amenity adjacent lots, mainly because I don't typically use a lot of the amenities and I don't want the traffic or the noise.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Convenience doesn't matter for me because I don't use them.
And some people, maybe with kids, or you might want to keep an eye on them, or you're lugging a whole bunch of stuff to the pool. That short walk is a lifesaver.
Yes.
Some people even like it as extra parking space for guests when they come over. If they have a parking lot right across the street from them,
that's a pro tip.
Yeah.
That's a pro tip.
But then there's also those common lots. They're usually found like in the middle of the street, maybe. It's not a cul-de-sac. It's not at the end. It's not at the beginning. If the builder can sell the same house on the same lot shape, again, you don't have leverage. Doesn't mean that it's bad.
Yes.
It just means that it's easily replicated.
Exactly. It's not bad. Something you may not think about that can help sell your house also is your floor plan. So let's jump over to that. Not all floor plans are created equally and not all age equally. So buyers 5 years from now, they are not going to care what was trendy when you went to the design center and built your house.
No, they care about functionality.
Yes. Functionality is big.
Yeah. Layouts that tend to hold value that we've seen, single-story homes, first floor primary suites, which is starting to become very popular.
Very popular. I don't want to go up the stairs.
I don't either.
Nope.
Flexible bonus rooms. A lot of people work from home, so having that extra space as an office maybe.
And we're seeing two work from home.
Right.
If there's two adults and we're seeing both of them working from home.
Right. They need that extra space.
They need it.
Especially if there's already an office and you need a second one. Open kitchens, or open floor plans, but with a little separation. Sometimes when it's just one big giant room, it's hard for people to really get a hold of the design and where things go and placement.
Can't visualize.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that tray ceiling to separate it, or that beam, the exposed beams.
Right. The header that kind of like just separates a little bit. It's still open, but it kind of gives you that little separation that people like.
Yeah. Layouts that struggle. Okay, so we've seen this and we're going to talk about them. Overly niche designs, odd nooks.
Yes.
Odd nooks are something. They are odd, exactly. No one knows what to do with them. So we had a listing that had a nook that was very difficult to sell or even categorize. We were very inventive with it because it
had a lot of things.
It had a lot. It was off the kitchen. It had cabinets. It had desks. It had counters. It had 3/4 walls. And it was small and it was open and it couldn't really be used for much of anything. And the location was definitely odd.
And it had 2 entryways.
It did. So how do you combat against that?
Multiple front doors.
Yeah.
It was strange to people. And believe it or not, and it's not like the house was so super big.
No.
But people were getting like lost in the house. They weren't quite sure where they were because there were a lot of angles and turns and twists and.
Exactly. If you have 2 front doors that make no sense, that's definitely going to be an overly niche design.
Right.
3/4 walls, half walls. They're dust collectors. People don't typically like them.
Right.
Closets that are turned into very unique spaces. So if you're going to
True story.
If you're going to turn your under the stair closet into a meat locker for you to cure meat, just change it back before you sell.
Some people have converted bedroom closets into little reading nooks.
Yes.
Which are super cute and really nice, but it's also designed just for you. Most people want a closet.
And that's just convert it back.
Right.
That would bring us to kind of ultra personalized configurations. Even like child height counters. They're great in theory when your children are young, but they do get older. And when you're trying to brush your teeth and your sink is at your knees, it does make it difficult. And yes, we are being dramatic, but there are such thing as child height counters and comfort height counters. So these are things you really want to think twice before adding.
Right. Something that can also help you in the future is choosing upgrades wisely. Ones that will appeal to the masses.
Yes.
So let's talk upgrades because this is where buyers can lose equity fast. Everybody wants to replicate what the model looks like, but they don't realize that the model is probably 80% upgraded. Every time. Yeah. Everything in the design center looks amazing. You want it all. Nothing feels optional because you feel like you need it.
I feel like they should have to put a sticker on every upgrade.
That's a great idea.
I think so. I think it should be mandatory that if it is an upgrade, and I don't know who makes these decisions, but builders.
If you can hear us.
Yes. We would love, as a consumer and as an agent, if it is an upgrade, I think you should put a little chart on it that says, these are level 6 cabinets. They are an upgrade. This is a quartz countertop. It is an upgrade. Everything. That way you can literally walk into a home and you'll see there are hundreds of upgrades.
Right. Upgrades almost never appraise dollar for dollar. That's why inventory homes are so desirable. Now, you're going to get the best bang for your buck on an inventory home.
I agree.
Okay. The builder is not going to have emotion involved in it. They're going to put the upgrades in it that will appeal to the masses because obviously they want the house to sell. And we always say you get a better value in an inventory home than if you purchased the home and purchased all of the upgrades yourself.
Yes.
And you could even match that inventory exactly with the upgrades, but you're still going to be paying more.
Yes, I agree.
Give
me your analogy.
Yeah. It's almost like a buffet where you go in and you pay a flat rate and you can eat as much as you want, or going to a restaurant and itemizing it and buying all those individual items, you're going to pay more for it.
To recap, we're telling you, the seller, we're kind of bringing you back in time. So you're switching to the buyer, and these are how you can avoid having this issue when you sell in a new construction community. Because when you also, when you sell, buyers are not going to pay extra for your taste.
Right.
So smart buyers, and which is you, we know it's you because you're watching this video. You're going to prioritize structural upgrades. What does that mean? Higher doors, higher ceilings, larger closets, adding 3 feet onto a room, adding 3 feet onto a garage,
adding lights,
adding
windows.
These things are structural. Okay. So structural upgrades are going to be prioritized. Ceiling heights, which we talked about, are going to be prioritized. Lots, which we told you about, the best lots, prioritize those. Options that appeal to a lot of people are 8-foot doors, 10-foot ceilings, double primary sinks in your 2 sinks in your main bathroom, comfort height toilets. Danielle has her favorite. I have my favorite. Which one is yours?
Well, I've seen people get angry when there's only 1 sink in the primary.
Yes.
They get upset.
Well, I want my own sink.
I do too.
I'm taking off my makeup and stuff. Get out of my sink.
I don't know why anybody would only put 1 sink in a primary nowadays. Everybody expects to.
I'm not sure. I agree. I think every primary should have 2 sinks.
Yeah.
So again, pro tip, every primary should have 2 sinks.
Yes.
But also at least primary, I feel like every bathroom should have comfort height toilets.
Oh, I agree with that too.
I mean, I am 5'9".
Yeah.
I don't want to fall.
Yeah. You have to get on your knees.
Right. I'm like trying to sit down. Comfort height toilets are a must. Okay.
Right.
Just everybody keep that in mind. Must.
Right. And you want to limit these choices. Decorative tile, trendy finishes, such as maybe this year's colored cabinets, trendy colors in the house, wild wall colors, and wallpaper everywhere.
I like wallpaper. Not everywhere, though.
You don't need it in every inch of the house.
I agree.
Over customization is a bad thing.
Yes.
Tell them about the model that we walked into. That almost gave me anxiety.
It gave us both. Walked into a model, and we just assumed that possibly it was a new decorator or someone who learned a whole bunch of new techniques lately. Every single possible technique that you could use was in this house. And it wasn't just like one technique in each area. The hallway had multiple. So we're talking over customization on the ceiling, wallpaper 3/4 down, then ledges, then batten board, then colors, and then paintings over it. Then walking through the hallway, it was the boxes with the X's through it, I think, in the living room. Shiplap on another wall. Don't do that.
No.
That's a little overkill. Definitely customize your home for your taste.
Right.
But if you want to resell, you might want to keep that in mind.
So this brings us to understanding the builder's pricing. Builders can drop prices overnight. They can basically do whatever they want to do. Drop prices, add incentives without notice, change strategies phase to phase. And we're going to explain to you what that means as both a seller and a buyer.
So as a seller, when they drop prices, add incentives, and they change phases, it's going to be you're mind-boggling for you because you're not going to know what's happening. Maybe you priced your home to be rate comparable with new builds because people don't always have the time to wait.
Right.
Although you are going to have some inventory to compete with, but you've priced it correctly, then all of a sudden, next week it's the end of their quarter and they dropped prices. Right. They're offering $30,000 design incentives and they're offering a washer, dryer, refrigerator, ceiling fans, blinds. It's not good for you. On the flip side,
for buyers, it's fantastic because you're going to get an inventory home already built with all kinds of upgrades in it. You could get your closing costs covered. They can buy down your rate. And it could be possibly less money than a resale right down the road.
Yes.
So it's great for buyers. And honestly, and I hate to say it, because 9 times out of 10, it's always going to come down to price. Mm-hmm. As a buyer, if you're looking at a resale and a new construction home, and the new construction home is less money, they're going to go with that. So for sellers, if your home is identical to some of the inventory homes, there's only 2 reasons why a buyer would choose your house that is lived in over a new inventory home.
Right.
Price.
Price, big one.
Or pool.
Pool.
Either you have a pool and the inventory home does not, or you are priced lower than the inventory home, because 9 times out of 10 it comes down to price.
Again, hopping in your time machine. Before you buy, you need to understand how many phases remain in the new build community, how long the build out timeline is. Is it another 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years? And get educated or be educated on whether pricing is rising or stabilizing in that area. Everything that we have been saying in this entire video, all of these things you should consult your realtor for, not the site agent. The site agent works for the builder. I'm going to say it again. The site agent works for the builder. They do not work for you. So you want a realtor. You want someone who's going to walk through these steps with you, who's going to talk to you. What is your goal for buying this house? Is this your long-term home? Is this just a stepping stone for you? What do you want to do? You need to know. You need to talk with someone. You need to talk with us.
They can point out the trends.
Yes.
They can tell you what the area is doing, how
Yes.
much the houses are commanding, resale wise. And sometimes, your realtor can find out a little bit more information about the community and the builder specifically than you could.
They've worked with them.
Yeah.
They know some of their nuances. They know some of the little things. And, for example, we're going to talk, we have lots of new builds communities. We're in an area there's a ton of them. And we have one up the road. We have had multiple people sell. They've come to us to help sell, and they've had to compete with the builder. And we've had to have that talk. Do you have the time, or do you have the ability to lower the price?
Yeah. But each of those situations, they couldn't
wait.
They couldn't wait. They had to move. So they were competing with a lot of inventory homes that unfortunately were priced a lot less than them.
If you have a community, let us know. Like, drop a question down below. We'll help you out with the community that you're selling or buying in, help you out with asking these questions, putting them in order to decide if it's a good idea for you. It's not always. I love new builds. You get a lot for a new build, but it's not always the best idea.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to fit.
Right. New construction can be an incredible opportunity.
I agree.
But only if you buy like a long-term decision, not a showroom experience.
So let us know if you're thinking about buying or selling in the community that's still growing. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you understand what that decision looks like when you sell. Go over all the questions we asked here.
So we are Heather and Danielle. We are realtors here in Florida, and we are happy to answer any questions or help in any way we can. If you have any real estate needs, we are here to help. Subscribe, like, ask questions. We really try to go on and answer every question that's on there.